In the nearly 2 years we've been recording the show now, All In with Bryan Weatherford, we've had a few guests that have been on numerous times, and I'd have to go back and look, and I may just do this because I'm sincerely curious. I think the guest we have coming on next may have been on here more than anybody else, and there's a lot of reasons for that, not the least of which he's just a really cool guy. And on a side note, it's always neat on the rare occasions we have a good-looking, young, successful, talented man named Bryan actually here on the show. This particular one is our buddy Bryan Acosta, the head honcho, Advent Trinity Marketing. Welcome back, buddy. Good to see you. How you been?
I've been good, man. Been living the dream, digital marketing. I guess everything's going digital, right?
I read about that. I think it is, and it's funny you say living the dream because, frankly, for a lot of people, it's living the nightmare because they don't have a clue what they're doing, and that's why you're there to help turn those nightmares into dreams. So, give us a little backstory, real quick. Exactly, tell us everything you do because we always have new viewers all the time. So, let them know what's Advent Trinity Marketing all about.
Well, we are a digital marketing company, which that involves anything that's online on the internet. So web design, web development, search engine optimization, social media marketing, you name it. Anything that's going to get your name out there, getting visitors to your website, and then getting customers to engage with your brand.
You pretty much do it all, and I hope people noticed, Bryan, you're not here in studio like you normally are because this whole COVID situation going on, and I want to touch on that quickly. How has that impacted your business? For example, I would think that a lot of your customers maybe are working more out of their house than ever, which really increases the need to have everything proper because they're not used to being where they're being. So what have you been able to do to help people get used to having a home office environment possibly for the first time in their life?
Well, there's quite a various things. We've actually done quite a bit of redevelopment of websites, taking their websites and putting systems into the website that allows a customer to engage fully on the website and automate their sales process, their customer service process, any way that they're engaging with the business. So we've actually helped restaurants go digital through placing orders through their website and picking up. We've had, things where service-based businesses are automating by having customers allowed to chat with them through the website that goes directly to their phone as a notification so that they're able just to chat through their cell phones. We've actually helped a lot of business owners bring in new tools to their business, not just on the marketing side, but as the operation side. For instance, like our business, even though our business is digital, we've had to find new ways because now, our employees are not here in the office anymore. We've had to pivot our business as far as operation wise. So using things like Slack and Trello to manage projects and have direct communication with our employees to make sure that everything is going smooth. And what we've actually found, believe it or not, we've actually had some more consistency on projects going digital than we've ever had before. So it's actually pretty interesting.
Well, that's very interesting, but I want to back up quickly. You mentioned two words there, restaurant and pivot. All right, the reason I focused on those, David, we talk about pivot all the time, how people have been having to pivot, but one of the industries that has been hit harder than most is the whole hospitality industry, to include restaurants. So without mentioning any names, have you worked with any restaurants or maybe seen some restaurants that should have done something they didn't? You got any restaurant stories?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have two actually. I have the good and the bad, right?
Okay.
So
no names.
The good. Let's start with the good, right? So we've actually had a business that we've been doing marketing for a very long time, and we were able to help them pivot. Now they made some decisions on the restaurant side, of course, for safety for COVID-19. But we put a campaign together for them on social media, and not only did it go viral and a lot of people like it, but two things happened. During the COVID-19 shutdown of the city, believe it or not, they actually had more new clients than they had returning clients because of social media. And then secondly, when Governor Abbott opened, the market again for restaurants to be at 25%, capacity, they ran a campaign, and the entire city of Arlington actually spotlighted their campaign because they were like, wow. So they actually shared it to the city social media. So that not only were they having the clients engaged, but now they're having the entire city engaged, because they were one of the first to put out their campaign and saying, hey, we're making changes to make sure that our clients are safe. Making sure to taking the temperature and make sure nobody has fever, and showcasing that through social media. But on the other hand, I had another prospect that I reached out to and said, hey, how is business going? And she was like, well, I might need your help. And I said, okay, well, talk to me what's going on. And she did talk about social media. But the thing that she told me was that, she has been forgotten. And that's because she hasn't used these different types of media to stay in front of her consumers and stay in front of her clients. And if she would have consistent marketing, I think that she would be in a better place right now.
Bryan, I've heard those stories so many times right here on the show and in my own personal life of people, when the city said shut down, they shut down everything. And the last thing you want to shut down, and you never shut down, is your social media. You've got to keep the presence. And now, if your business is closing entirely, you're not coming back, that's one thing. But for a pause situation like this, pause the operations side, keep the marketing side going, keep people updated, let them know you miss them, let them know you care. You got to do that. I think that's two great examples. And as far as for your own company, I got to tell you this, and you don't even know, I appreciate the fact that Advent Trinity's still been out there. You've been doing a lot of seminars, a lot of webinars, excuse me, if you will, to help people out, just give them tidbits and whatnot. Let me know why you think it's so busy with everything going on and in a chaos like it is, for you to keep going, to keep doing those webinars, to offer expert advice to people who really need it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're having our next webinar next Monday on how to pivot your business to go digital. Now, we have had some different titles for it and different feedback on the webinars, but our marketing has not stopped, and that's one thing that Ruben and I agreed upon, was the one thing that should never stop is marketing, because the minute you stop marketing is the minute people forget about you, just like they did with that one restaurant, right? But it's not just restaurants; it's businesses across the entire country, right? But one thing that I would like to talk about before I go into the specifics of why we called it How to Pivot Your Business to Go Digital was, I actually listen to things before I do my webinars, right? I get educated, and then I use that re-education to give back to prospects and clients and make sure that they're okay and have the knowledge that they need, that they probably would never come across, right? But one thing I was watching is, what is a pivot? And so, you're going one direction, right? And so what is a pivot? If you're going one direction, what happens? That pivot stops, that point stops, and suddenly you're going another direction. So what people don't realize is it's a complete shift. It's a complete change to the business, because you have to rethink and reevaluate not only your operations, but your digital, your marketing presence. What are you doing now? What has to change? What has to shift? And I don't think a lot of businesses understand what an actual pivot is. So, that's why we're going to be doing this webinar, because there is a lot of change happening. And even in our business, we had a lot of change happening. And some of it was extremely good, because it made us realize we could have a ton of remote workers working not under the same roof now, but from home, and we could still micromanage deliverables and expectations of the business. But on the marketing side, we realized that that stayed consistent. And because it stayed consistent, we still had new customers come in. And quite frankly, it was a blessing, because it was a kind of a shift. We actually had bigger projects come in, believe it or not. And I think it's because some of these bigger business owners had some time to now restructure and put their ideas into place.
All right, folks. You heard it straight there. Just to summarize quickly, if a marketing company doesn't pivot, we've got some serious situations. But it's their business as a marketing company to take care of the marketing themselves, but more importantly, to take care of the marketing for their clients and their prospective clients. Advent Trinity's been doing it long before COVID. They continue to do it, and we look forward to seeing them again next time as they continue to do all those great things. Bryan Acosta, thank you, buddy. We'll see you soon.